Cover of My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney, 2026. Alice Feeney, often called the Queen of Twists, returns with a psychological thriller that will leave you questioning everything you know about love, identity, and revenge. My Husband's Wife is a tangled web of deception, obsession, and mystery that keeps readers guessing until the last page. For Eden Fox, an artist living in the tranquil seaside village of Hope Halls, life is about to turn into a nightmare of lies and betrayal. On the morning of her first big art exhibition, Eden sets off for a routine jog along the Cornish cliffs, excited for what the day will bring. But when she returns to Spyglass, the enchanting old house she recently moved into, nothing is as it should be. Her key doesn't fit the lock. A woman who looks eerily similar to Eden opens the door, and Eden's own husband, Harrison Wolfe, coldly insists that this stranger is his wife. In an instant, Eden's reality unravels. One house, one husband, two women. Someone is lying. Panicked and confused, Eden finds herself treated as an intruder in her own home. Harrison calls the police, portraying Eden as an unstable woman harassing them. Sergeant Luke Carter, the local police officer, arrives and is confronted with a bizarre scenario. Eden desperately claims Spyglass and Harrison as her home and husband, while another Eden, a polished blonde imposter, stands by Harrison's side, living Eden's life. With no ID, phone, or money on her, she left everything at home for her morning run. The real Eden cannot prove who she is. She watches in shock as the imposter Eden, wearing her dress, welcomes guests to her art exhibition in town that evening. Eden tries to intervene, but before she can reach the gallery crowd, Sergeant Carter restrains her, suspecting she really might be a mentally ill trespasser. Eden feels trapped in a surreality where everyone believes the lie. Even her daughter, 13-year-old Gabriella, refuses to speak to her. Isolated and frantic, Eden is hauled toward the police station as she vehemently insists on her identity. In a moment of desperation, she slips away from Carter's custody and disappears into the night, determined to uncover the truth on her own. Now, 6 months earlier, in London, we meet a woman named Olivia Bird. Birdie's life has been a lonely string of disappointments. She's 40, single, and haunted by childhood trauma, abandoned as a child and raised in foster care. As if things couldn't get worse, Birdie receives a life-changing diagnosis during a hospital visit, a serious illness that makes her acutely aware of her mortality. But that same day, fate throws Birdie an unexpected lifeline. A solicitor tracks her down with surprising news. Birdie's estranged grandmother has passed away and left her an inheritance, an old cliffside house in Cornwall called Spyglass. This sudden gift from a family she never really knew feels like a chance to start over. Reeling from her diagnosis and with nothing to lose, Birdie quits her job and leaves the bleakness of London behind. She heads to the pretty seaside village of Hope Falls to claim the house, hoping it might also be a place to spend whatever time she has left. When Birdie arrives at Spyglass, the house is eerie but oddly familiar. Stepping through its doors awakens hazy childhood memories, flashbacks of being in this very house as a little girl. As Birdie explores the dusty rooms, she finds a black envelope with rose gold lettering addressed to her late grandmother. Inside is an unsettling letter from a mysterious company called Thanatos. The letter poses a dark question. Do you want to know your death day? Birdie is unnerved that such a company apparently predicted her grandmother's death date and now perhaps her own. Curiosity and dread gnaw at her. Eventually, Birdie contacts Thanatos and schedules an appointment, unable to resist the temptation to learn her fate. At the secretive London clinic, she undergoes strange medical tests and is told she'll be informed of the exact day she'll die. This knowledge casts a long shadow over Birdie, a ticking clock she can't unhear, and it steels her resolve to right old wrongs in the time she has left. Alone in a new village, Birdie keeps to herself at first, living quietly in Spyglass with only her loyal husky dog Sunday for company. One evening, Birdie is startled by a knock at her door. It's Sergeant Luke Carter, the local police officer, stopping by after noticing lights in the supposedly empty mansion. Carter finds Birdie living there legitimately, and the two get to talking over a drink at the nearby Smuggler's Inn pub. There's almost an instant spark between Birdie and this handsome, kind officer. Both are lonely in their own ways, and one night of conversation leads to an unexpected, passionate encounter. Birdie and Carter spend the night together, providing Birdie a rare moment of comfort amidst her troubles. What Birdie doesn't know is that Carter is a married man, a detail he conveniently omits, and this lapse will have dangerous repercussions down the line. For now, Birdie dares to feel a sliver of happiness. She tells Carter she plans to stay in Hope Falls for good, not letting on about her illness or the ghosts that haunt Spyglass. As spring turns to autumn, Birdie becomes increasingly entangled in the secrets of her new home and village. She learns that Spyglass's previous occupants were a wealthy family, Harrison Wolfe, his wife Eden Fox, and their daughter Gabriella. Harrison, she discovers, is the owner of Thanatos, the very company that predicted her death date. This chilling connection makes Birdie wonder, did Harrison's morbid enterprise somehow involve her grandmother's death, or even her own fate? Meanwhile, Birdie hears whispers around town about a tragic accident that befell little Gabriella. The girl was hit by a speeding police car a year ago, right in front of Spyglass, and suffered serious injuries. After the accident, Gabriella was sent away to a rehab facility called The Manor and hasn't lived at home since. Birdie feels an inexplicable pull toward this child's story. Piece by piece, hints of familiarity emerge. The accident, the house, the family, it all feels strangely personal, as if Birdie is connected to it. Unable to ignore her intuition, Birdie decides to visit the manor to see Gabriella. Using a pretense, she gains access to the care home and meets Mary Kendall, the young caregiver looking after Gabriella. The sight of 12-year-old Gabriella, fragile, wheelchair-bound, yet still bright-eyed, brings tears to Birdie's eyes. She introduces herself simply as Olivia, a kind visitor, but Gabriella immediately recognizes her. The girl lights up and calls Birdie Mummy. In that heart-stopping moment, the truth crashes down. Birdie was Gabriella's mother. In fact, Birdie was Harrison's first wife, the original wife of my husband's wife. Years ago, Birdie lived in Spyglass as Harrison's spouse and Gabriella's mother until a web of lies tore their family apart. Eden Fox, the woman now living Birdie's life, had once been Gabriella's nanny, brought into their home to help care for Gabriella. After Gabriella's accident, Eden subtly manipulated Birdie, preying on her grief and guilt. She twisted the facts so that Birdie believed Gabriella's injury was all her fault. Broken by guilt and battling trauma, Birdie had a breakdown. In Birdie's weakest moments, Harrison leaned on the ever-helpful Eden for support, and Eden slyly made herself indispensable. Harrison invited Eden to move in after the accident, ostensibly to help with Gabriella's care, but Eden had other plans. She seduced Harrison and gradually usurped Birdie's place as wife and mother. Feeling unworthy and convinced her family was better off without her, Birdie had fled from Hope Falls. She vanished from their lives, never realizing that Eden had orchestrated her downfall. Now, 6 months later, Birdie knows the full, horrifying truth. The old wrongs she feels compelled to right are Eden's lies and Harrison's betrayal. Gabriella was hers all along, and Eden Fox stole not only her husband, but her very identity. Armed with this knowledge and with nothing to lose, Birdie begins to quietly plot how to reclaim her life. She forms an unlikely alliance with Mary, Gabriella's nurse, who turns out to have her own grudge against Eden and Harrison. Perhaps they wronged her as well. And she's willing to help Birdie. Together, they devise a bold plan to gaslight the gaslighter. Mary agrees to impersonate Eden Fox and help expose Harrison's treachery. After all, Mary is around Eden's age and appearance, and as Gabriella's caregiver, she knows intimate details of the family. That brings us back to October 30th, the night of Eden's art exhibition.
Mary puts the plan in motion. She has taken Eden's place, dyeing her hair blonde and confidently stepping into Eden's shoes for the gallery opening. Harrison, fully complicit, stands by Mary as if she were his wife. He seems disturbingly calm about disposing of the real Eden. It becomes clear that Harrison, fearing exposure of his past sins, chose Eden's side over Birdie long ago and now is choosing Mary's deception over Eden. The goal is to make Eden appear crazy and erase her from the picture, much like Eden once erased Birdie. This cruel charade is what Eden stumbled upon when she came home from her run, triggering our tale's opening chaos. After Eden escapes police custody that night, she does not give up on reclaiming her life. Eden sneaks back to Spyglass in the early hours of October 31st, determined to